Lover or hater, you have to admit that selling a $75 candle scent called This Smells Like My Vagina makes Gwyneth Paltrow a business genius. By now, you've probably heard all of the jokes about this vagina candle, but have you really stopped to think about why or how this was possible? And more importantly, how you can use this knowledge for your own business? Before we get too far into this video, I want to address what I talked about right at the beginning, calling Gwyneth Paltrow a business genius. I'm sure I got a lot of people scoffing, and I would like for you to watch the rest of this video. So I want to kind of address that right off the bat. And I'll just kind of leave my reasoning to this kind of simple statement. And that is, when was the last time you heard anybody talking this much about a scent of a candle? I mean, Yankee Candle has not had this much social chatter and free media in their 50-year existence. So there must be something that Gwyneth Paltrow is doing right. Now, for those that might not be aware of Gwyneth Paltrow's business dealings outside of her being an actress, she owns a company called Goop, and she started this business in September of 2008. It was actually like a informational newsletter at the beginning. She didn't start selling products on her website, I think, for several years later. And this newsletter was basically for Paltrow to talk about her exploration on kind of all things wellness. Now, about 70% of Goop's revenue does come from product sales, and kind of the fastest growing part of that is through her private label. So she does sell some third-party goods that are not her private label goods, but her own private label line of her G Label clothing brand and then the Goop dietary supplements have been growing about 50% year over year. She also does make some money from wellness events that they host in person, and then also some like brand collaborations and things of that nature, just general advertising. And since Goop and Paltrow has started fundraising, they've raised $82 million, which on the last round of funding, I think has put their valuation at somewhere around $250 million. And with the increase of revenue and sales growth, I think that valuation has probably aged a little bit. It's probably much closer to probably like $400 million now. But let's get back to this Smells Like My Vagina candle and answer some of the questions that you guys might have if you're not too aware of this at all. First of all, how does a vagina smelling candle even come to be? It was a joke, according to Paltrow. I guess she was at her candle maker's office working on some different scents. One of the scents that they came up with, I guess Paltrow just kind of blurted out, "This smells like a vagina," and it was kind of a joke, but they decided to put it to market. How did a $75 candle do? How did it sell? It honestly sold out in minutes, so it did very well. And is this the only like odd, kind of crazy item that Goop has sold in kind of the history of the website? Honestly not. I can list a ton of things that they've sold or recommended to buy over these last 12 or so years. And this is not the first crazy vagina related item as well that's been on Goop. Just do a quick search of vagina jade eggs. I can't believe that I'm saying vagina this many times. Just look that up and you'll get to see what I'm kind of talking about here. And this product kind of transitioned us into maybe why people do not like Paltrow and do not like Goop as a whole. And this is because people believe that she's peddling dangerous pseudoscience. And people have gotten a lot more triggered lately is because Netflix is actually going to put on a show, a reality TV show around Paltrow and Goop called the Goop Lab, where they're going to explore a bunch of different kind of wellness trends and kind of explore some different things that the Goop lifestyle wellness brand is all about. They're going to be kind of surrounding the business and Paltrow, and I believe maybe some of the people that she trusts in the wellness kind of space. And they're just going to be talking about some of these kind of holistic alternative ways that might be fringe and might be a little bit different than most people would think about with traditional healthcare. But outside of the candle, is there anything else that is underneath those questionable products that makes me think that Paltrow is a business genius? And I'm going to name kind of 5 things that I think are overlooked in this equation. First one is around like Americans and especially affluent Americans thinking about health and their ailments and everything like that, past just the idea of curing them. But there's also thoughts around like fine tuning the body, creating more high performance lifestyles, optimizing performance. And there's been a large wellness industry that's been built out to support this. And sometimes the practices that have been built around those things, built around this interest from affluent Americans, has sometimes been like edgy, exotic, and sometimes just weird. Secondly is around just a disparity between how women and men are treated in the current kind of healthcare system. Firstly, around like the areas of pain, and women and men are usually treated very differently. Their pain tolerance are treated very differently. There's also just this idea, I think there's been some different studies that have shown that connecting the symptoms for a woman to the actual disease is a lot harder, or there seems to be a less ability for the connection between symptoms and actual diseases compared to the likelihood with men. And while Goop's platform and Paltrow are not saying that they're prescribing anything or this is the end all be all in terms of information, they are providing a platform for the discussion of these different kind of holistic alternatives for women that seem to be underserved in the current healthcare system. The third one is around that Paltrow and Goop has really perfected the formula of aspiration and also like irritation. They're able to kind of trigger a lot of people. Paltrow doesn't really care what you say about her, what you write about her. She doesn't really care all that much. She realizes that this attention that's getting towards her, all attention is good attention. And she's going to be able to monetize those eyeballs and I guess vaginas as well. And the fourth one, speaking of vaginas here, I think in general, vaginas and reproductive rights are a extremely hot topic right now in America, in the Trump era, where women's rights are starting to get eroded a little bit. Vaginas have become like this symbol of resistance in a way. And I think it has provided a lot of opportunity for people to commercialize that. And then the fifth and final one is around just like celebrityism and how much influence they have, especially celebrities that are able to put themselves out there openly, transparently, not just in the sense of like when they're doing their work as actors, ones that are just super open about everything, especially their daily routines. That has a ton of influence, arguably the most influence in the market today with celebrity level influencers. So Paltrow doesn't need her products, her routines to be backed by science. She has more than enough of power in that daily routine influence she has, and that is able to create a ton of revenue, which could arguably be a good or bad thing depending on what side of the coin that you're on in this situation. Now, I want to close out this video with just a funny response to Paltrow and her This Smells Like My Vagina candle, and this was actually from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And basically, a comedian, Adam Ray, had a post in which he said, "It was only a matter of time until normal scented candles would be out of style. Your move, Yankee Candle Company. Time to get at The Rock to sell candles that smell like his balls. Price is right, $1, and sell them for $74. And he hashtagged a bunch of different things. And The Rock commented on that post and said, "Brother, I tried to make those candles, but I kept burning my balls. So I moved on to shampoo. Hashtag scent of sack." So obviously in a kind of a tongue-in-cheek type of comments, I think The Rock's response was right on brand with his kind of a sense of comedy. Perfect timing in terms of a response because it was just a ton of attention right when it came out and when this post came out. But it begs the question, if you are listening to this, you might be thinking, should we come out with a vagina-scented candle in our business or some crazy thing like that? And the answer is probably no. But you should know your customer at such a level so well that you can launch whatever crazy idea you want to, and it will sell out in minutes. That should be your inspiration. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to help support me, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button on this video. If this is
the first time you've been introduced to my videos. Would love for you guys to be a part of my community by subscribing to my channel. I upload several videos just like this weekly. And if you guys want to connect further outside of this platform, I do include all of my social media links down below. I just want to thank you guys again for your time. Hopefully I gave you some value in return, and we'll see you guys on the next video.